lyrics about for Need to Rock and Roll?
Needing to rock and roll.
I Need to Rock and Roll. I came to the band with those like the original set of lyrics, which I think were kind of like probably like two thirds of what's.
Well, we used all the lyrics that you came up with, and then I just added on.
Just added extras.
Yeah.
But overall, it's about just like it's exactly what it says on the tin. Like needing to rock and roll, but like not rock and roll in the sense of just like needing to hear rock music, but like the whole atmosphere of going to live shows, meeting up with your mates, and like just getting loose. So I found that like sometimes when I'm like home alone for any extended period of time, like like 48 hours or more, I got a bit stir crazy. So that song's just like kind of how that feels. Like there's lyrics like how that feels. And then I brought him to this guy, and I'm like, "Hey, have you ever felt this way?" And he's just like, "Oh, funny you should mention it."
All the fucking
time.
Literally all the fucking time. Like, yeah. So yeah, you brought it to us, and I feel it hard, especially people like myself who work hospitality and never get to go to gigs anymore. Unless on like some freak occurrence.
Felt it even more after lockdown too, because there's like, even if you beforehand it was like wanting to go to shows, but like just being inconvenienced about not being able to get there, or like couldn't afford tickets or something like that. But then during lockdown, I was like, even if you want to go to a gig, you can't go to a gig.
Yeah.
It felt like having my feet chopped off, man. It was like the worst.
Yeah, the message of the song intensified strongly.
So for I Need to Rock and Roll, we write most of our stuff. It's like one of two ways. It's either James comes in with lyrics and like a vocal melody, and then we put something behind it to try and like emulate the story, or one of us comes in with like a half baked song where it's like, oh, I've got like these two riffs, or like I've got this one groove, and here's like a verse and half a chorus worth of lyrics. Like let's turn it into something. That's like usually that's how most stuff has been written so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I Need to Rock and Roll was the first time I came to the group with a song where I was like, hey, I want you guys to turn this into something, and it was like all on Guitar Pro. Just like it was like the opening of the track was there, and then like the verse riff as well. I think that's about it.
Yeah. And like the first half of lyrics.
Yeah, and like the first verse, and like maybe like an idea for a chorus. So just like, oh, I kind of want there to be like a bit of a chant thing going on.
Yeah.
Like, but that's about it. I really remember like when I brought it in, like everyone was like, that Guitar Pro sounds like trash. Like I don't know if that's gonna translate to instruments well. And I was just like, I had how it was supposed to sound like stuck in my head for like weeks. I was just like, no, just trust. It's gonna rip. It's gonna bang.
And bang it did.
And then like the first two rehearsals where we tried it, like everyone kind of only half-heartedly learnt it, because I think they like didn't have any. I don't know. Like you'll have to ask them, but like I don't think they really had any confidence that it was going to be any good, so they didn't want to put the effort into learning it. So the first two times we tried to play it, it was like fucking trash, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not that good of a song. But then like the third rehearsal, I think, like everyone actually like finally clicked into gear and like synced up, and it just ripped so hard, and I was like, yes, this is what I wanted.
The rippage was real, and yeah, no, that was man, I was like hungover both vocal recording sessions for that one, and I'm still so happy with how that turned out.
Yeah,
So I think you gave it that like roughness that it needed.
Yeah, getting you to like do that like whisper like enticing thing right at the start, like that was all in the old cranium.
Yeah,
like right from the start, like this is how it's going to sound, kind of like a industrially sort of vibe to it.
makes a fucking killer opening track.
Yeah, I think that's just like the remnants of my time on Witch Grinder just bleeding in a little bit.
It's fucking not a bad thing.
Yeah.